Good morning, this is Deborah Nana, and welcome to Morning Musings. I'm so glad that you joined in with me. This morning I want to talk with you about a technique that one of my teachers shared with me in a workshop, Angeles Arian. I was taking her Fourfold Way year-long workshop, and she shared this technique which I think is brilliant, and it's called fair self-talk. And the athletes are experts at this. So what reminded me to share this with you is that the Winter Olympics are playing on TV, and I've been watching them and noticing that this is something they practice. So for example, when a downhill skier finishes their run, immediately a TV reporter comes over to them and interviews them. And in that interview, that athlete uses fair self-talk to share what happened in their run. So they'll say, well, as I just got out of the gate, I went too slowly around that first pole, which slowed me down, so I couldn't make the second pole in the time I wanted to, which affected the jump that I made and slowed me down and affected my score. But what I learned is, coming out of the gate next time, I'll really build up my speed before I hit that first pole, which I'll be able to maintain around the second pole, which will affect my jump and my score overall. So what it is that they did is, number one, so there's three parts to fair self-talk. Number one is say what happened. Declare what happened. Take responsibility for your part in that. So, this is what I did and this is where I messed up. Number two is share what you learned from it. And number three is say what you'll do differently next time. So it changes what could be an opportunity to go into insufficiency and criticism and guilt about yourself or others. It changes that into an opportunity to turn that around and make every experience an opportunity for growth and learning. This is such a great tool for many arenas in our life. For instance, in relationship, if you have a conflict or a disagreement with your spouse or partner, to later make the time to reflect together on, okay, this is what I did that I take responsibility for. This is what I learned, how it affects you, how it affects me, and this is how I'd like to do it differently next time. Or, in teams, in corporate teams, of course there's going to be disagreement. But again, to create a time where you can integrate your experience together and share authentically what you felt, because everybody's experience is different, what you felt, what worked for you, what you learned from it, and what you would like to do differently. And then in a group experience, what you would suggest that could be done differently in the group to make it a much more beneficial experience for everybody. Also with your children, if you have a disagreement with your children, to sit down with them. And how cool would that be to teach our children at young ages how to communicate clearly, and rather than to going to guilt and blame and getting emotions locked into our being, when we have an emotion around a disagreement and we don't integrate and reflect on it, many times what happens is those critical voices, which is actually the mind, create a story and attach it to that emotion, and it locks it into our being. So then the next time you get into a disagreement or something, that memory is triggered, which causes suffering, and that emotion comes back up, whatever emotion got locked in there. So, I'm not good enough, or, whatever. So fair self-talk, I think it's a great tool for clear communication, for making every experience an opportunity for learning. Number one, say it like it is. This is what happened. Take self-responsibility. Be fearless about your part, the part you played in every experience. Number two, what did you learn? Share what you learned. And number three, what would you do differently the next time? I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for being here. I send you blessings.